formula together, and they shine. It was the Tar Heels' best performance of the season. It resulted in a loss. Can they put that behind them, come out here and compete on the road?
So we are set for the opening tip on a night in the ACC, and both teams coming in with identical records of 10-13. Carolina 3-9 in the ACC. The Demon Deacons are 3-10. Carolina with the first crack at it. Black with it on the wing. Brooks tossing it out to Anthony. Anthony coming in, averaging 20 a game. Inside, and a nice touch, but that's going to be in and out. Garrison Brooks, who is, after getting poked in the eye, playing with the goggles. In fact, that's happened 3 different times to him this year.
In the same eye, OB. It's unbelievable in that right eye, but he's a competitor, and they're looking to establish him out of the gates.
Torrey Johnson trying to dump it inside. Sarr could be a real factor in this one. Lost the handle on that. He had a lane to the basket.
The Deacons will look early and often to Sarr down low to try and challenge this front line of North Carolina.
Brooks trying to wriggle free. A lot of pressure on him in the paint. And out it comes back to the Demon Deacons. The Tar Heels, by the way, have lost. The Demon Deacons have won only one time in the last 7 of these meetings head-to-head. Here's Childress. And a wing jumper. That won't drop, and taken away by Baycott, the 6'10 freshman.
Baycott did a good job of locating the body of Sarr, keeping him off the backboard. Strong defensive rebound.
Play tech from the corner. That didn't touch anything. And it's tipped out of play by Wake Forest. A closer look at Brooks and what he's wearing here. We'll see how long he sticks with this.
And I've had teammates who've had to wear those before. It's no fun. They fall off, they get loose, they get foggy from sweat. They become an irritant. Cole Anthony had to wear them earlier this season. Got tired of them and took them off at one point. It's challenging.
Anthony trying that baseline with a quick step. Got airborne. Denied on the play by Sarr, and that'll trigger a fast break there for the Demon Deacons. Childress, their most prolific shooter, that's for sure. And nothing but net by Andrian White, who hits about 39% out there.
And just a few probing dribbles from Childress allows that defense to be on their heels to give the open look for White.
Carolina trying to get into the scoring column here in the initial minutes. And as the crowd continues to fill in, Anthony gets himself a look. That one is off the back iron. And a foul underneath the rack. Wake up by 3 in the early going here.
It's a Wake Forest team that plays downhill. Their best offensive threat, almost 25% of their offensive possessions, ends up with them getting to the free throw line. So North Carolina is going to have to defend in a disciplined manner without foul.
The Demon Deacons just lost at Syracuse 75-73. They have a bunch of very close defeats. Johnson lets fly and knocks in a 3.
27% three-point shooter. Wake Forest feeling it out of the gates.
Now Carolina looking for someone to put it in the basket. And now a traveling violation on Brooks. Looks like he did initially, but he actually had to put down, and eventually he traveled.
This is the discipline that you got to play with. Play tech nonchalant on the closeout. Torrey Johnson, albeit a 27% shooter, but a good enough look to convert.
Childress trying to penetrate, getting right by Anthony. Left it on the iron, though. They're going to get a second crack at it. Childress coming in, averaging 15 points a game. That's a rounded out, and lately he's been missing a lot of shots.
Yeah, and he's been tasked with having to do a lot for this team, which has taken him a little bit out of rhythm. But for North Carolina, when they get a miss, they've got to run. Had great success versus Duke, getting out in the open floor, exploring transition.
Anthony, nifty feed there, and up and in it goes for Baycott, who gets the first basket of the night for Carolina.
Beautiful cohesion there. Great entry pass, carved out some real estate. Nice two-man game there.
Anthony coming off an outstanding effort against Duke, as he really got it rolling to the tune of 24 points and 11 rebounds in a 2-point loss in overtime. Another one for the books. North Carolina and Duke. Shot clock a factor now, down to 7. Poked away by Black into the backcourt. He races it down. Nice hustle on that effort. Anthony, great dish there, and a whistle. The shot won't go for Garrison Brooks. But the creativity there of Cole Anthony on display. 6'2", Wake Forest.
Differently without question, but the balance in which they perform. Keep in mind, they missed 17 free throws, had 18 turnovers, and were still the better team, save a few plays down the stretch. So you ask anybody in this conference who they don't want to play in Greensboro for the conference tournament, and it's a 3-win North Carolina team because they're that dangerous.
Particularly Brandon Robinson is back healthy, out with the ankle. Roy Williams said after the game, if you don't care who won, you got to enjoy a big-time college basketball game like that. He said, I care who won the game, so I did not enjoy the final outcome.
Trey Jones, or anybody for that matter, could practice throwing it off the rim 1,000 times. You'll get that result exactly once, and it just so happened to be in the best rivalry in all of college sports.
White gets himself a pretty good look, but a misfire, and Black there for the rebound. Tar Heels shooting about 41% for the season. That's been pretty steady, unfortunately for them. Entry pass and a foul. They're really putting a lot of heat on Garrison Brooks in that lane. Roy Williams, 47th year as a head coach, 3 national championships. And now sitting at 881, the foul on Oguama, and that'll be his first.
And I'll tell you what, a flat-out class act. He was the same today in shoot-around talking to him as he's been at any other point when I've talked to him, which means when the machine is running well, he's the same good-spirited, kind guy as when a guy loses to Duke in that manner, and that is a rare treat. That's something I enjoy very much.
He has always been like that, incredibly consistent with his demeanor day in and day out, whether he's coaching a national champion or a team scuffling at 10-13. North Carolina 3-9 in the conference for the first time in a decade. Shot clock inside 10, loose ball, and that'll be scooped up by Leaky Black. 2 turnovers for Wake Forest. Those turnovers have been an issue all season long. Cole Anthony from 18 feet and all net.
Patience. A couple probing dribbles, sees what the defense is going to give him. A whole lot of space, and he knocks down the mid-range.
So Carolina, after a sluggish start, has tied it at 6.
If you're Wake Forest, you got to find a way to get Sarr back down in the post. He draws fouls. You want to challenge his Carolina front line.
Childress right by everybody, just kept on moving. And puts Wake back in the lead. Getting 15 points a game for Brandon Childress, but he was 8 for his last 30 over the last 3 games, coming into play tonight. Brooks with a touch. Wants to get in that lane, and a little fall away, and that'll roll off the iron, but the tip is up and in by Baycott.
But because Brooks takes a good shot, it allows Baycott to carve out some space to offensive rebound. High percentage play allows for offensive rebounding execution.
Baycott coming on 12 points, 7 rebounds in the loss to Duke. So much upside for the McDonald's All-American. Childress too strong, but that's out of play off Carolina.
And this is the symmetry between the 2 bigs. You see that Brooks is going to offer this thing up. Baycott knows that this is a position where he's going to try and go get a shot, so he starts to bury his guy down low in Oguama and is in pristine offensive rebounding position for the putback.
You go back to the game he had against Oregon early in the season, a huge game, 23 points, 12 rebounds. He blocked 6 shots. Just a glimpse of the upside we talk about with him.
Oh, he's a pro. He's just got to stay locked in. The rim runs were apparent versus Duke. The offensive rebounding opportunities, there alone, he can deliver double-figure outputs just by doing those 2 things.
And the foul will go on Leaky Black. That's already 2 on the 6'8 sophomore, so keep an eye on that as he heads to the bench.
The 6'7 sophomore is trending upward. In his last 2 performances versus Florida State and Duke, he's put together some impressive numbers showcasing the all-around arsenal that he possesses. Not talked about much in that Duke game, but 8 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, a near triple-double for the Swiss Army now.
Johnson trying to make something happen, but Anthony took it away, and a foul on the play. A little bit of frustration there, and that'll be number 2 on Torrey Johnson. Cole Anthony, the gifted freshman, from New York, just exploding out of the college basketball scene with 34 in his debut against Notre Dame. Of course, missed 11 games with the knee injury. Many speculated he would not return. You know, looking at a pro career, I think it's a really good thing for college basketball that he did decide to come back, because he trips through the lane. He just lost it back over to Wake Forest.
And he has a couple of those sequences a game, which is really nitpicking because of the immense talent he is. But absolutely, OB, going back to what you were talking about, what a teammate. It's not like he was coming back to a Final Four contender, but he knew that he was the missing piece for a team that can still do some damage. But it was the love of his teammates and his competitive spirit that made him want to come back.
Well, they run the play for Sarr, the 7-footer for the slam. His first basket of the ball game, coming in at 13 points and about 9 rebounds a game.
Huge for Wake Forest to establish him both as a dive guy, but also simply feeding him the post. He needs to be featured.
Playtech flips it up. Can't get that one to go. Brown with the rebound. Shondi Brown back to full health. The Deacons as healthy as they've been a long time, but they throw it away right to Playtech. 4 turnovers now. Running the floor, but the slam won't go for Baycott. Not a lot falling right away for the Tar Heels. Sarr trying to keep his balance. He does beautifully for 2.
I love it. 2 bigs running the floor. One misses in conversion, but the other one gets it to go. Baycott and Sarr, 2 guys giving great effort.
Keeling getting in. Short jumper. Yes, that'll rattle in for Christian Keeling, his first basket.
Another guy who's trending upward. Double figures in the last 2 games, averaging around 14 points per game in the last 2. More confident in what he's been doing, but it started with how he's defended to get him on the floor.
Grad transfer from Charleston Southern. Sarr with another touch, faces the basket. That missed ugly. So Carolina try and tie or take the lead. And some miscommunication there between Anthony and Pierce, and they toss it out. 3 turnovers for the Heels.
The old pick and roll, one of the toughest to defend in the game. Sarr is the dive guy. All alone, help side, too late. He gets it to go. Then Sarr showing his versatility running the floor. Tough catch, may have traveled. No call. Gets the best.
The improvement, Jordan, that he has made from last season to this season.
And it allows this offense to be a little bit more dynamic with the Deacons, because at 7 feet, clearly he can play on that low block, but he can move around on the perimeter. He can shoot it comfortably in that mid-range and even extend you out if he has to. He's also got good vision. He can put the ball on the deck, so they can utilize him in a lot of scenarios. Today it's been a rim run and a ball screen as the dive guy for some success.
Wake not getting any scoring out of Brandon Childress, but they are getting assists. He already has 3. So he is looking to distribute. Gets this one free to Neath, and that's going to be in and out. And the offensive foul. Brooks trying to get position inside that lane, and he'll pick up his first foul.
In a favorable matchup there with Shondi Brown defending him at 6'5", Brooks going 6'9". Old mouse in a house scenario, but a little too physical there to draw the whistle. Let's take another look. We've got Brooks trying to play a 2-man over here. I don't see a lot of contact there for a whistle. Got to let him play in the trenches, OB.
I think so. Sue deep in the corner. Childress, a 1,000-point score, a little fall away. It could be a very entertaining matchup tonight. Childress and Cole Anthony head-to-head.
No question, OB, and that was good defense from Cole to contest, stay with him, play without fouling.
Brooks again off the fake, got it up there, but missed, and it's tipped. That won't fall. And Carolina also a little unlucky here so far, and that'll go the other way. Wake Forest basketball. You think of how they shot the ball against Duke in the first half the other night. They hit almost 60% against the Blue Devils. That was in half number 1.
Yeah, they were really humming. We're able to shoot around 50% for the game, 52% in that game, and it's because they were able to get some runouts and pursue some easy ones. That hasn't necessarily been the case so far here.
Talk about an easy-looking basket. Shawnee Brown getting it down on the low block with his first bucket. 14-10 Wake. I don't think you can underrate how big that victory was for Duke to come back after beating North Carolina in overtime to knock off a deep and talented FSU team. I mean, to pick up back-to-back wins like that, the rivalry win, and then against Florida State, as that'll be slapped out by Shawnee Brown, very active defensively.
This is impressive defense from Shawnee Brown. He drew a whistle the possession before, and how about the recovery here? And the timing to get the block down low. Help side.
Anthony will fire. Fight for the rebound. They get tangled up in the paint. And a tie-up. Possession arrow will take it to the other end. North Carolina just 4 for 17 so far. We're discussing Shawnee Brown, 6'5" junior from Orlando, Florida. He's had some big games. He lit up number 23 Xavier earlier this season since the injury, and coming back 28 minutes against Syracuse, 14 points, so starting to get those legs back.
Yeah, you can see it's a gradual climb. I mean, Shawnee Brown is not a 12-minute performer by any means, but that was to get him acclimated versus Clemson, and he started to get his groove back a little bit. In this game is probably the closest he's been to healthy. We'll see how he performs.
Jump shot on the way by Massoud and all net. And this is the biggest lead of the ball game here for Wake.
Deacons get that three-point line going to create some separation.
Leaky Black trying to find some offensive rhythm. He's got a three-pointer. That clangs away.
That's where he can grow. That's the next step in the development of Leaky Black. There are NBA scouts here to watch him tonight, amongst others. If he can prove that he can knock down that outside shot with consistency, he becomes that much more dynamic.
Eusebius will drain that one, the sophomore. So Carolina has gone almost 3.5 minutes since they last scored. And they're down suddenly by 9. And suddenly Keeling will drop in too. He's got 4 points.
It's not the best offensive lineup out there for the Tar Heels right now, but Keeling and his soaring confidence allows him to be arguably the go-to guy aside from Brooks with the 5 out there.
Neath on the baseline. He gave it up. It's 5 turnovers now for Wake Forest. Keeling on the spin, a long distance 3 off the back of that iron, but Brooks will give them a second effort. Harrison Brooks averaging 9 rebounds a game. Down to 10 on the shot clock and a foul. Brooks going up strong. He'll be at the line to shoot 2. Well, North Carolina looking to recover, down by 7 here to Wake Forest.
And lead, but I want to focus in on Garrison Brooks. That scratched cornea has him wearing those goggles, and some of these plays here he has been able to convert because I think those goggles are a little disruptive. It was good defense on the one from Oguama, but down here, a second one of these where Garrison Brooks, no goggles, converts that. So I think he's feeling out, clearly bothered by the eyewear and dealing with that as he plays through. But if there's anything to be optimistic about, 0 of 12 over the last 2 games from the free throw line, 2 of 2 here tonight. So maybe he's gotten over that mental block there.
Well, poked in that same eye 3 different times against Michigan in practice and again in the Duke game. We'll see how he fares at the line. It's tough when he doesn't have vision difficulties because he's 56%. 6'9" junior out of Lafayette, Alabama, with 3 points so far tonight.
He has consistently been one of the toughest competitors in this conference, with especially the cards that have been dealt to the Tar Heels. Every night out, he gives his best effort. I expect nothing different this evening versus Wake Forest.
Wake Forest 8 field goals from 7 different players, so getting terrific balance so far. Tough drive inside by Massoud, and he'll be at the line to shoot. 7:29 to go in the half. Baycott with a foul. Head coach Danny Manning, 6th year at the helm for the Demon Deacons. 2 NCAA appearances as a head coach, and of course a great college player, Kansas, 1988 most outstanding player, the Final Four.
A lot of Kansas on the sidelines. A lot of Kansas history, I should say, on the sidelines here this evening.
Now tonight, trying to pick up his 11th win of the season. And coming off that defeat against Syracuse, it was the 6th game they lost by 7 points or less this season. So they've been in quite a few. They rallied from 16 down in the second half, but Syracuse won it with 1.7 seconds to go.
There's balance. Wake Forest had a balanced effort in that one, which kept them in it, much like North Carolina versus Duke. But both teams on the other side of those games in terms of a loss. And who's going to come out here and say, hey, that's rear view stuff. We're out here to compete. We want to get back to winning ways.
Leaky Black fouled on the play by Masood, and that'll be his second. Olivier Sarr, the 7-footer, back on the floor now for the Demon Deacons. Let's see if Anthony starts to rock and roll now for North Carolina. That'll be swatted out of the sky. Well, Wake Forest, they can do that. Blocking shots. And denying Cole Anthony.
Oguama. I think Cole Anthony thought this floater was enough to get over the top. Great effort defensively.
Wake with 3 block shots so far tonight. Baycott gives it up for Anthony. Shot clock at 3 as he launches and hits. 4 points for Cole Anthony.
The mid-range pull-up. Cole Anthony has mastered it.
And he's got that look in his eye like he wants to turn the tide by himself here. Down 21-15.
And it's huge because OB, they take cues from him. When he starts to get going, and now that he's more trusting of his teammates, it lifts this whole team up.
White fires it up there. Hit it. He made the shot. He hits the three-pointer and fouled on it, too. Goodness gracious.
It's your three-point specialist. He's made the most on the team of 45 coming in, 39% shooter. And you knew Keeling lost this, and once the head fake and that momentum was coming. But the focus of White was the difference maker. Kept his eye on the goal, shot it as if there was no contact.
White was a 1,000-point scorer at Charlotte before coming to Wake. And a 4-point play to bolster the lead back to 10.
Three-point line has been very kind out of the gates here to the Demon Deacons. Arguably the difference is they built this double-figure lead. (25-15) Wake. So Carolina down by 10. They never led in the game. Anthony barely grazing the iron. Keeling out hustling everybody for the rebound. Keeling's had a few of those tonight. He's really been competing for loose ones. Here's another.
Anthony wants to operate. Another mid-range jumper. And a lot of them just clanging away for the men in blue tonight. And a foul on Cole Anthony on the shove on Shondi Brown, number 1 on the Carolina point guard. Well, Saturday, first place Louisville Cardinals are in action here on the ACC Network. Chris Mack's squad will take on the Clemson Tigers at Little John Coliseum at 4 Eastern. The Cardinals have won 10 in a row. They lead the ACC at 12-1. Clemson has lost 4 of their last 5. You and I will be there for that contest.
Another one of the incredibly dangerous teams in this conference, Coach Mack's Cardinals.
But Childress had almost no room to operate, but he found when he needed to slither in and get 2.
Got to reestablish the inside presence. Too many shots begging from the perimeter.
Black with a jumper. You've seen a lot of that. One and done out of North Carolina, and another frustration foul. This one out of Leaky Black. Back to that Childress drive, which was terrific a moment ago.
Childress, is something about the home cooking. Shoots nearly 8 percentage points better at home. That's just a grown man drive. 6 feet tall, playing amongst the trees in the inside.
some of his recent accomplishments. Outstanding passer. Leaky Black with foul number 3 heads to the bench for North Carolina. 1-1 here. So White drops in the first one. This is his 7-0 run for the Demon Deacons. And he makes the pair. Even White's had a nice first half. He has 9. So 29-15 Wake Forest. Coming up on 5 minutes to go in the half. Looking to get it inside and due for Baycott and the basket.
It's big time. Showed 2 hands, got into a good space. Play Tech was looking there. Concerted effort to get inside touch.
Terrific give inside. Childress finding Oguama. But another outstanding pass by Brandon Childress.
It's been great spacing for the Demon Deacons, which has allowed for a lot of these clean looks.
Play Tech, he gets 2. Off the window, well run play by Roy Williams' team. 31-19.
Because of the great work from our audio team, you could hear Mucius pleading with Sean D. Brown to get out. Miscommunication allows for the easy Tar Heels lay-in.
Oh, great roll to the basket there by Sean D. Brown. Another assist for Childress.
And again, OB, it's that spacing. 5 out, 0 in. Allows them to space you, move off screens. Allows for open cuts to the rim with no help side to defend. Take a look, wide open inside the paint. It's Oguama who gets Baycott on his hip for the lay-in. The sequence right after, cutting Brown with no defense there. Help side because of that elite spacing.
Wake with some easy looking hoops. That hasn't been the case for the Tar Heels. Rebound tipped out high, back to the Demon Deacons. Wake has hit their last 7 shots. The step back for White. They finally miss one. And one. A determined effort by Sean D. Brown, and he'll be at the line. Wake Forest with a 35-19 lead on Carolina.
Good look from White. Don't locate blockout. Sean D. Brown. Pressure on them to defend. A lot of movement, whether it's screeners, cutters, ball screen exchanges, and Carolina has not met that with the effort that is needed. On the other side, the Tar Heels shot selection in the half court has been questionable.
Neither of these teams are noted as great shooting clubs. Tar Heels at 41%, Wake Forest around 43%, but Wake's looked a lot better than that tonight. Another shot that did not go for Cole Anthony. 35-19 Wake.
Cole Anthony just struggling to find a rhythm right now. 2 of 9. That is obviously a big part of it. That's 7 misses there, and also just the head of the snake that gives the rest of the Tar Heels confidence has failed to get going.
Childress has dished out 6 assists here early. Lucius to the baseline with a pull-up. They'll get the second effort. They're getting great hustle out of that man. Oguama with the basket. Both he and Sean D. Brown are getting every loose ball.
Yeah, Odi Oguama has been giving them a big boost on both sides. The shot block on the driving Cole Anthony. A couple easy lay-ins, offensive rebounds. Highly active, and that's all they ask from their freshman big.
Oguama makes about 58% of his shots. Brooks on the bench. 37-19 Wake Forest. Well, you posed the question at the very top of the broadcast. How would North Carolina react to that devastating defeat in overtime to the Duke Blue Devils? The answer is not very well.
Yeah, you just didn't see the edge coming out of the gates. There was without a doubt a drop-off from that Duke game, and it's allowed Wake Forest to capitalize here in the first stanza.
Trying to put the hammer down. White off target with the 3. Battle for the rebound, and it pays off on the effort by Mucius, the 6'8" sophomore.
I was curious what happened to Garrison Brooks earlier. It looked like on the jump shot as he was defending. Oh no, there's the clear shot. Oguama, not intentional by any means, raked across the face of a guy who's already battling a scratched cornea. The goggles are off. They're working on him on the sidelines. Big fella can't catch a break.
When healthy, he's contributed 15 points, 9 rebounds a game. Health has been such a watchword all season long for North Carolina. Massive injury difficulties. That'll go against Bacon, number 2.
Looks like a cut across the mouth.
Yeah.
Some sorts there, OB.
You know, luckily not the eye again. Bacot heading to the bench.
Good-looking young man in the ACC competition is really trying to knock it down a few notches with the rakes of the face here as of late.
Do you ever have to wear them, the goggles? Was there ever a time in your career where you did?
No, I thought you were going to ask if there's ever a time I was attractive. The answer would be a distinctive no. No goggles.
No goggles for you. Would you have worn them if you had to? A lot of guys don't like them at all.
If it would have helped my shooting percentage, OB, possibly. I would have tried a lot of things.
Would have tried anything, right? Well, how about this? A 20-point lead for Wake Forest. I don't think many in this arena expected that. A lot of Carolina fans, as always, here. Keeling. Shot clock inside 10. Taken away. Here's Childress. Bounce feed off the fingertips of Andre and White. Otherwise, they had an easy basket.
Well, Wake Forest's garden. They've been very active, been in the right place defensively. Look how Shawnee makes him eat a chest. And then Childress gets in the passing lane. Great bounce passes. A little bit too much juice on the rotation where White couldn't handle.
1:55 left in the half. And halftime can't come quickly enough for North Carolina. Walker Miller getting some minutes here coming off the bench. Pierce doubled up. He's denied. Shut down on that play. They'll keep it here on the possession arrow.
And that's credit Wake Forest defense. It goes down to Justin Pierce, and they collapse on a double to take away any window of opportunity. It's effort and execution defensively for the Demon Deacons.
Well, Brooks has gone back to the locker room, by the way. Here's Anthony swooping in and one.
And how about just a flash of brilliance to remind you just how talented jersey number 2 is for the Tar Heels. See how he split this thing? Wow. Just explosive, and then new contact was coming. Body control in midair to finish in an old-fashioned three-point play opportunity. He doesn't let you forget for too long who he is on the floor.
You see it's his first foul. Anthony makes 73% and a three-point play, and a pretty one. They need some good things to happen here before the break.
You want to string together a stop or two here in the last 90 seconds. Just to have some feel-goods going into the locker room and a growing belief.
Childress been quiet as far as scoring, but he'll draw the foul here, and he'll be at the line. But as a distributor, he's got an A+ in the first half.
And that's what Childress does. He gets to the free throw line. 3rd best in the ACC and free throws made. Look like Randolph a little bit there, huh? Breaking him down off the dribble.
Playtech with a personal. Very good foul shooter, 83%. Well, this is Clemson's inaugural Division I softball season. Will have their first ever home game tomorrow when they square off against Western Carolina. In fact, that's a doubleheader. Very first softball telecast ever on the ACC network. Childress banks 2 more. 41-22. Jacoby Neat, the freshman, back on now for the Demon Deacons. They have played a fine first half. Sean D. Brown getting a break.
Jeremiah Francis back in the lineup for the Tar Heels. So as they lose one in Brooks, they gain another back in the lineup in Francis.
Nice effort underneath by Walker Miller to follow that miss. Just under 1 minute before halftime. It's just shocking to see North Carolina with an ACC record of 3-9. So many things have been shocking about the season that Roy Williams' team has had to this point. Oh, so close the other night against their arch rivals to lose by 2 points in overtime.
Yeah, and OB, we don't have a rooting interest. We call these games, we enjoy the stories, the coaches, and the players. But without a doubt, we felt for Carolina in that loss versus Duke with what this season has been.
41-24, Wake, an impressive first half, and a timeout. Got the lights out. And the stretch where they made 7 out of 7 at one point.
I imagine Oguama's going to give a high ball screen here and let Childress operate. Oh, they're going to throw it. Blitzing defense to Childress.
Oguama setting the screen. White will launch it. Yes, a three-pointer.
Pierce needed to be just an extra step further out. With how White shoot the ball in the first half, you can't give him any daylight. He'll take advantage.
So Wake once again up by 20. Andrew White with 12 points. He's been a big reason why. Shot clock to 10 for Cole Anthony. Tried to kick it. And the jump shot will rattle in. The final seconds here and a heave. And off the backboard, almost went in. A lot of shots did go in for Wake Forest. First double-digit lead over North Carolina at halftime since 2010. Now the question is, can they hold it? Can they build on that? But Danny Manning's team has been shooting the basketball, and Roy Williams' team trying to recoup at halftime. At the break, Wake Forest rocking and rolling in their home arena in the ACC. ACC Network Basketball is brought to you by Zaxby's. Hand-breaded chicken and fresh ingredients made to.
He's one of the toughest competitors in the conference. I think it's pretty hard to argue with that statement with what he's been able to endure and still come out here and perform.
We're chatting with Coach Williams. See when and if he returns, but he is on the bench, obviously.
Pleading his case, most likely to play in this game.
Looks like he is. Over the top for Sarr, but a foul in the opening seconds of the second half.
I'll tell you, Garrison Brooks thought he was coming out to start this second half. And when they kind of gave him the hold up, it looked like, and obviously we're not right there, but he said, Coach, come on, Coach, let me get out there. And Coach being tentative with his star, because at the end of the day, Coach Williams cares about his well-being before wins and losses.
Walker Miller with the foul. And the jump shot misses badly by Childress. 44-26, Wake Forest. North Carolina looking to cut in. Baycott in heavy traffic. Tipped his own miss, and a rebound ripped down. Childress will kick it back out top for the jump shot. That's off the front of the iron and another whistle. Well, not a lot of fouls, not many turnovers in the first half. The first half really sailed by.
And almost the 8th assist from Brandon Childress. Just the playmaking ability. Gets into that paint. Makes the defense commit to him. Then finds his open teammate. Andrew White just couldn't convert. But another sequence where Childress is making the right read.
Baycott with his 3rd personal for Carolina. White slams on the brakes. Back out for Sarr. Childress draws the double. Nowhere to go. They trapped him. The jump shot, knocked in beautifully by the hottest hand in White.
There is the 8th assist. Childress doing whatever he can do to find the hot hand in Andrew White.
47-26. White with 15. That's going to rattle out. Keeling with a miss. Carolina will keep it. Another look and another basket by Andrew White.
You'll see Childress draw a double team. Thought they had a trap, but that was great understanding of the game for White to move into a position where he was open as a receiver to ultimately knock down a three-point shot, not giving up on the play.
Got 8 assists. Black in the lane, blocked out of the sky. Oguama, and it's going to go the other way, back for Wake Forest. Oguama, the freshman's had a really nice night. He's done a lot of the little things.
Yeah, and as a freshman, that's all you're going to ask of your big guy at 6'9". He doesn't possess the offensive skill set to be a go-to guy down low, but rebound, be active defending, block shots, and run the floor.
Childress nearly lost it. Senior playing in his hometown. On the drive, a little floater, and a pretty shot out the window. 49-26. Carolina in dire need of a spark. Not going to get it there. Baycott with a miss. That'll trigger the break. On the move, Johnson. He's got 2 more. 51-26. And another theft, another turnover by North Carolina.
Here's your difference between transition defenses. The dribbler beats the Tar Heels defense down for the layup. The defense for the Demon Deacons doubles and gets a steal back in transition.
Sarr lost the handle on it. Scooped up by North Carolina. Dealing with the feed on the other end. And he's on the line. Leaky Black with a turnover.
And they're going to say it was on the line.
On the line.
Torrey Johnson, the latest example, a leak out, no pun intended, for Leaky Black. Torrey Johnson doesn't give up on the play, gets a deflection, but his foot is on the line. Nothing easy. And that's all effort from Wake Forest.
So right back over to the Tar Heels. Baycott. Here's Anthony. Killing with a jumper. Got a good look. He buries that. A 2-pointer.
And you can see Cole Anthony building trust with Keeling, because Keeling for the last few games has developed a knack for scoring it confidently. So in times where Anthony may put his head down and try and make something happen, he's willing to get it to Keeling.
16:47 to go. Second half. Wake Forest with a 51-28 lead on North Carolina. And Childress to put it in. He has 8 assists so far tonight. Childress, the open jumper, got it. A 3. Now Wake Forest is really enjoying the night. They've outplayed North Carolina in every phase.
Carolina tries to blitz the ball, draw a double to generate a turnover, and it's just patience from the Demon Deacons to find the ultimate open teammate.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Keeling with a miss. Black giving it up, and a tie-up on the play. Possession arrow pointing to keep it in this direction with 16:09 to go. And a 54-28 lead. Garrison Brooks now into the ball game again. So got hit in the mouth in the first half, took a couple of stitches. Looked like he was pleading his case to be a starter in the second half, and Roy Williams very cautious, put him on the bench to open up the second 20 minutes. Rebound punched out back to Anthony. Keeling wanting to shoot. He is their hot hand right now.
And Keeling continuing to shoot that thing confidently. Previous games this season, that's a quick catch and reverse it the other way, because he was lacking that confidence.
Childress in heavy traffic and an offensive foul.
Childress doing it all for his Demon Deacons. A team high 8 assists, a game high. Then when he's called to score on, he can do that too. Bangs down the baseline 3. All Demon Deacons. Florida State and Duke all go 9-10 deep. Florida State even 11 at times. The difference is Louisville has 9 guys that could potentially score 20 points on any given night. Incredible amount of talent Coach Mack has amassed there in Louisville.
Anthony lost the handle for a moment, and a whistle with 9 seconds on the shot clock and a foul as he hits the deck. And a rough night for him. Shondi Brown will pick up foul number 1. North Carolina 3-9 in the ACC. Wake Forest 3-10. Made a scoring change on Keeling's shot. 3-pointer was officially ruled a 2.
Garrison Brooks is going to be out there. I understand he's battered and beat up, but you got to find a way to get him touches to try and kickstart this offense. Ryan Cole Anthony's not going to get you to climb back into it.
There's 3 with a missed foul on the deck. Wake Forest is led by as many as 26. That's their biggest lead against any opponent all season long. It's also the biggest deficit for North Carolina against anybody all season long. Childress with his first foul. Leaky Black over the top. Brooks back out for the point guard. Shot clock to 10.
Guam is working defensively. Where's Brooks down low?
Trying to power his way in. Brooks lost it, got it back, and draws the foul.
Love how Brooks stayed with it. Oguama blocked 2 shots in that possession. Ultimately, the third offering was too much. But again, the activity from the freshman, you got to be impressed with. Watch, he'll deflect a Cole Anthony shot here. Then he'll recover and block Brooks one more time. There may have been a foul on that one, but ultimately they get it right on the third one. Indeed, a whistle deserved there.
Harrison makes the first. Wake Forest back to the bench. Jacoby Neath, 6'3" junior. On now for Danny Manning. Wake Forest at times in the first half shot the lights out. And from everywhere in the lane and beyond the 3.
Yeah, they followed suit here in the second half. It's been taking good shots, and it's been through ball movement. Not a lot of one-on-one basketball, which at times Wake Forest falls into. And those numbers don't bear well for them. Obviously, you look at what their standing is in the conference. But when they share it, they're mightily competitive.
And another whistle with 14:37 to go, and a foul against Carolina. They'll get Brooks for his second. Again, the Tar Heels have won the last 6 meetings head-to-head. Another man getting some medical attention. That was Oguama, who's had a relentless game. But the only thing that will knock him out of the game is maybe a nosebleed. Childress beyond the 3-point line. So is Brown, and that's off target.
But again, it's the right decision. The swing pass, allowing that, not allowing that defense to get there, having them on their heels with the passing and the vision.
Was trying to save it, but out of bounds. And it's a great point because so many of the shots that Wake has taken tonight have looked simple. They have looked easy. A lot of them have gone down. The spacing has been terrific.
It's not highlight passes. You're absolutely right, OB. It's not crazy dunks. It's, oh, okay, shot clock's winding down. No hero ball. Let me swing this cross court because the help side defense is asleep over there, and we get a good look. Just can't convert.
Down the lane and the foul on the play. Lucius draws the contact with 13:50 to go.
This is an incredibly challenging lineup Wake Forest has out there for North Carolina to defend. 5 guards that'll spread you out and all play beyond the arc.
Miller with the foul. For the season, 42%. 10th in the ACC. Tonight, 56%.
Yeah, you'd probably be at the top of the conference with that number tonight.
So Coach Manning delighted with what he has seen so far against North Carolina. Still time for the Tar Heels to climb back in it, but they need several hot hands. A little follow away here by Brown. That won't drop.
North Carolina's got to try and speed it up. They got to play fast. Got to look for some easy early ones.
Keeling from 3. Yes. He's been a reliable guy tonight.
He's been Cole's favorite target all night long, and he's delivered.
He has 11 points. Shondi Brown with a pull-up jumper. Short.
That's good defense from Leaky Black. Now you've got a few sequences when you're trying to push it, get some early ones. And that's a tough go. It's a bad read from Cole Anthony.
And the turnover. Kicked it over 9 times this evening. Anthony, by the way, 3 for 12 shooting.
And Keeling has been the difference. 14 points versus Florida State. Returns with 13 versus Duke. 5 of 7 in that Duke game. 1 of 1 from three-point line. And you can see the confidence is at an all-time high for 55.
Neath with a jump shot on the way, but that won't fall for him. There have not been many cold stretches in this game for the Demon Deacons. They may be in one right now. Anthony went sprawling, gave up the basketball, nudged ahead here for Childress, and poked out a play by Black. And a point guard remaining on the other end of the floor. Of course, he missed 11 games with the knee injury and slow to rise here. With 12:09 to go.
Looked like, was it a slip on the floor or was there a foul? Yeah, he's just simply lost his footing. There's been a couple slips in that area of the floor. You'd like to see them get that handle.
Now, one of the many problems the Tar Heels have had in this one. Childress to the paint and draws a foul. A lot more whistles here in the second half than we saw in the first. Had very few stoppages of play, actually, in the first 20 minutes.
I was wondering when that was going to happen, because that's what Wake Forest does. They get to the free throw line. 25% of their production offensively comes from there, so they like to draw whistles.
Off the inbounds, quick strike by Massoud. One of the better three-point men for the Demon Deacons. And a quick answer on the other end by the hot hand Keeling.
And it's wild to see this right now with North Carolina trailing by 20, and at this point in the season, Christian Keeling putting it together. He was brought in, yes, from a school not as competitive as the ACC in Charleston Southern, but a guy that was built to be a scorer and just simply hasn't been that until these last 3 games.
He had played nearly 100 games at the Division I level before coming to school. And North Carolina 57-37.
Meanwhile, Wake Forest playing outside themselves, feeling it from distance from the perimeter, most especially, knocking down all types of shots.
Andrew White leading the way for Wake Forest with 15 points. Christian Keeling doing what he can. So far, the only man in double figures for North Carolina is 13.
Christian Keeling is the only one who's been efficient for this Tar Heels team. Cole Anthony has struggled. The defensive pressure has been relentless from the Demon Deacons, throwing a lot of different bodies at him. The only one to pick up the slack has been Keeling.
Anthony, the shot clock a factor now at 7. It is up. Pierce is going to be well short.
Got to have those.
First meeting. Both teams below 500 since 1919. North Carolina in transition. Keeling steps into a long one. Rare miss for him, at least tonight.
And with the 2-3 zone that Wake Forest is out there employing at this point, they're just daring North Carolina to beat them from the three-point line. A place where it is just not happening this evening to this point. Pass
Popped up and in and out of the hands of Anthony. taken back by Keeling. They'll go 1-on-2, shred the D and lay it in. And North Carolina on a mini run now, an 11-3 run.
A run out will do you real good with the struggles in a half court that UNC's had. Can they put together a few more?
Well, got to put together a lot more at Childress. Masood and a foul with 9:42 showing. Foul will go on Justin Pierce.
It's been fun to watch Christian Keeling this evening. Heck of a stand there from Cole Anthony with the block to key it in the transition. And I'm telling you, a few games ago, Keeling's pulling that thing out and waiting for reinforcements. Those last few games versus Florida State and Duke, he's thinking, let me get to the bucket and let me do what I've done for a few years I was at Charleston Southern, generate points.
Oh, down the lane, not there for Masood, but a second effort for the Demon Deacons. Long distance jumper around and out. Rebound tipped up and in. And down the lane, Oguama, who has really shown up big time tonight. In several phases of the game, he leads everybody in block shots tonight, too.
Oguama's been the best big on the floor this season.
Baycott to return it, got it. 8 points for Armando tonight. 59-41. 9 minutes to play. Childress has really said to heck with scoring much tonight, but he's had 9 assists in this one. Masood misfiring on the 3. Anthony short. Front rims that one. Johnson gives it up for Childress, and now he'll walk it back out.
That's a smart decision. Wake Forest has taken a few bad ones consecutively here. Need a productive possession here to get Carolina back on their heels.
Going to penetrate, scoops that, but a miss. He's had several tonight like that. He's gotten a layup, but he's missed it. And poked away, and a good defense by Shondi Brown. And Childress will not miss that one. You've seen a lot of players on both ends of the court slipping as Brooks will draw the foul. Childress just took a tumble there in the baseline.
And that's the same spot where there's been a few slips as well. Cole Anthony slipped there in the first half. It is chilly in this building. I wonder if it's condensation. Hey, look, I'm not going to pretend to be a guy who has any idea what I'm talking about there, but maybe that's what's contributing to some sort of slipperiness on the floor. Who knows?
There's been on both ends several instances where players have gone down. Masood picked up the foul. So 8 minutes to go. It's been all Wake Forest this evening. They've had a lead climb to as high as 26 points. Brooks, who was poked in the eye in the North Carolina game for the 3rd time this season, wearing the goggles tonight, add to those troubles 2 stitches in the lip after taking a shot in the first half. Now Baycott over on the bench and taking a seat for North Carolina. And he's got a little bit of a grimace too.
Yeah, these are 2 teams that have really been plagued by injury all season long.
And a foul. Looked like he was grabbing at that wrist a moment ago. 7:55 to go at Winston-Salem. He got raked here, and that was across the lip, requiring 2 stitches.
Yeah, unbelievable competitor. And now it's Armando Baycott who's being tended to on the side with some sort of injury to his hand. I'm telling you, North Carolina cannot get a break with these injuries. And it's not the 9th player off the bench. It is their big-time performers that have been battling injury this year. So you've never truly had the rhythm that the UNC faithful would have liked. He's been messing with that hand all game long. Something's bothered him on that dominant right hand.
(62-43) Wake Forest. Keeling's pass tipped out of play. Armando continuing to get attention, and boy, he's doing more than just grimacing.
Yeah, and he was grimacing all game, and it's become more and more visible Those grimaces throughout this game.
It was like a reaction to a sharp pain.
See how two guys just following Cole Anthony's every move.
That's going to be tipped in by Leaky Black. Nifty pass there by Anthony on a first shot. Make it 62-45.
And to Cole's credit, he's identified the double and made passes. Guys just haven't helped him out by producing anything aside from Keelan.
Johnson rolling back inside. And Walker Miller there to swat that one out of play. North Carolina just devastated by injuries this season. No two ways about that. Add them up.
That is brutal to see right there.
73 total missed games. That is the most by any Roy Williams team.
And Sterling Manley is a star. And you just hope at some point he'll be able to put on the uniform here and perform. Young man out of Pickerington can really play. Anthony Harris, that was heartbreaking, a real struggle. And then, of course, Brandon Robinson, his shot-making ability. You think they need that tonight?
Senior 13 points a game.
Jeremiah Francis, another handler. Played some minutes here back in the lineup, and he's been off and on. He nearly missed 1,000 days of basketball until he got back this season. It's remarkable.
Anthony taking on the team by himself. He's fouled before the shot. 6:45 to go. And personal will go against Childress, number 2 on Brandon Childress. Anthony over the top for Black. Anthony tried to split 2 defenders. He gave it up. Here's Childress, who had been really cold over the previous 3 games. He had made only 8 shots in those 3 contests. So he came out determined to do something else to help Wake win the basketball game tonight. And immediately started dishing assists, and he has tied his career high with 9.
He's been really fun to watch, the evolution of the player he's been for this program. The cries were very loud for he didn't belong, he's the son of Randolph, he's not an ACC player. He quieted those cries very quickly, and all he's done is improve and improve and improve to become the #1 focus on the scouting report when you play these Demon Deacons because of how dangerous he is. He's been that dangerous this evening.
In a 30-point game against NC State and a December loss. Foul on Pierce will be his 4th. To put Torrey Johnson at the line. Pretty good foul shooter. He's 79% there.
And just a classy young man Brandon is as well. Talked to his father Randolph for more than half a second, and you see where it comes from. The apple does not fall far from the tree by any means.
There's his dad's numbers up there in the rafters. Number 22. Assistant coach, scored over 2,200 points in his career. 6:12 remaining here. 64-45. Certainly not feeling like any kind of run is on the way for North Carolina. That's probably mainly because Anthony has not really gotten cooking. Foul will go against Johnson. That's his 4th for the Demon Deacon. Baycott with that hand heavily wrapped is coming back on now for Roy Williams. And another one coming here for Leaky Black. Sophomore had his own injury issues early in the season, bothered by a right toe injury, which is healed up. But obviously, not all of the North Carolina injuries did. Not by the longest shot. 64-47.
It's a real statement to have Armando Baycott playing through injury along with Garrison Brooks in this game, because this Carolina team clearly wants to, even at this point in this game, not give up the fight on what has been an uphill climb this season. And I think little statements like that you can read between the lines.
Black with a rejection, and the shot clock will wind down, and it goes back over to North Carolina as they buckle down defensively. with 5:41 to go.
I mean, their big men are beat up. You're down 17 points. A lot of people would understand why you sit these guys out and say, hey, it's a foregone conclusion. It truly does go back to the belief of Roy Williams and the statements he made after that Duke game. We're going to continue to fight. And that is what they're doing tonight. And look, the performance, I can't imagine a lot of UNC faithful are happy. The young men are still going out there and continuing to compete.
Some debate with the officials here about whether or not that shot actually touched the rim. John Gaffney, Pat Driscoll, and Ramey Steins, the officials this evening. Take a look. They're going to go over and take a look. Did that graze the iron? Did you see it change direction?
Looked to me like it grazed some iron.
So it's under official review. On the court ruled a shot clock violation. 5:41 remaining. Wake Forest with a big night offensively. Certainly not true of North Carolina. These are two teams that have had a devil of a time shooting the basketball all season long, but not tonight for the Deacons, that's for sure, on their home floor. Wake Forest losing two very physical bigs early in the season. They've had injury issues themselves.
Yeah, and it's a team that has had to battle with injuries to even Sean D. Brown, and Brandon Childress has missed games. If you look across the ACC, there's been times where almost every team has been dealt a blow, not to mention the roster turnover from guys graduating or leaving for the NBA. So that turnover has created a lot of disruption and some head-scratching scores night in and night out.
So North Carolina will have the basketball here. Approaching 5.5 minutes to go. Anthony taking a big step off the window. It won't drop. The follow won't fall by Baycott. Getting 3 cracks at it, but nothing goes down for the Tar Heels.
And in the midst of all the traffic, grabbing the rebound, Oguama, the freshman big.
Freshman out of Woodstock Academy in Connecticut. And it could be a future star to watch. Childress putting on the brakes. Anthony draping over him. That defense caused the turnover.
Great defense. Up in him, giving away nothing, but also the rest of the team doing their part, defending in passing lanes, extending out, denied to force that turnover.
11 of them for Wake Forest this evening. Obviously not a huge factor. Anthony trying to shred that D. Oh, what a tough shot he made it. He'll be at the line.
So good with momentum when he's attacking that rim, because of how he can control his body and find different ways to release the basketball through the contact. When he's got a head full of steam, he is a tough out.
Oguama the foul to put Anthony to the line. He's coming off 24 points and 11 rebounds in the loss to Duke. 9 points tonight. Just 4 out of 16 from the field. I mean, the shots he has made have generally been spectacular. Just hasn't made a whole lot of them tonight.
And the Deacons have stayed with him, running bodies at him, everything being highly contested or making him give up the basketball. And unlike in the Duke game, the Carolina teammates have not delivered when given the opportunity.
North Carolina pressing there, trying to force the turnover. And they get one back here. Killing picks up the loose ball. It does get to Anthony. Plenty of time to shoot it, but he can't hit it.
He doesn't miss those.
And he had all day to get that one away.
You make that one, the game pressure changes ever so slightly. It remains comfortable at 14 as we head to the last medium.
Knocked away, stolen by Black.
What a play.
Baycott will lay that one up and in. Well, getting a little bit interesting all of a sudden here with about 4 minutes to go, and Wake Forest has seen their lead once as high as 26 trimmed to 64-52.
Carolina dialing up the pressure. Leaky Black, the versatile defender with length. The outlet to Armando Bacot. It's not over yet.
This is starting to get a little bit interesting. There's plenty of time left for North Carolina. They have cut the Wake Forest lead to 12, a 7-0 run.
Deacons have a penchant for giving it away. Continue to apply this pressure full court. With the athleticism and length of Carolina, you can generate some turnovers and climb back here, but you need to do it quickly.
And they have been getting those turnovers. Wake scoreless over about the last 3 minutes with 4 turnovers in that span. Now running a little bit of clock. Bacot out to defend high. Here comes the jumper, and you see he can't hit that from three-point land. Door opening up here for Anthony down the lane. Yes, with the left hand. And now it's suddenly a 10-point game. And a foul will go against Garrison Brooks with 3:13 to go.
Cole Anthony making things happen. When the lights are the brightest, the stage is the biggest.
Deacons had a 26-point lead at one point. It has been shaved to 10. Tonight's player of the game is brought to you by Zaxby's. Brandon Childress of Wake Forest really dishing the ball early, trying to do some scoring when they really need it down the stretch.
Yeah, and it's those 9 assists that made us fall in love with his game tonight. The decision making has been decisive, but he's made the right pass. Not necessarily the highlight pass. He'd probably have closer to 12 or 13 assists with the pass to the scoring pass, seeing ahead.
Torrey Johnson, the 1-1. So since Wake Forest had the lead at 26 when it was 54-28, North Carolina has outscored them 26-11. Coming on strong here. Will it be enough? They still have 3 minutes. And Wake tough at the line as Johnson makes the pair, and he has 9 points. Black holds it up high. Anthony working on Childress. That's had some moments, that matchup. Tough traffic shot and a foul on the floor with 2:59 to go.
Cole Anthony's sense of urgency in terms of attacking the rim has come a little too late here. So he's been able to get whatever he wants here down the stretch. Now, part of that is that defense is breaking down and chasing him with doubles, and he's not allowing them to wait to get there.
Shawnee Brown, foul number 2 to put Anthony to the line. They need everything they can get right now, and he misses on the first one. He makes 1 of 2. 66-55.
If you're wondering why the crowd got into it, 2 consecutive misses, the home crowd gets free chicken from a said restaurant in town. So that got them off their feet.
And Childress to run a little bit of clock. Jumper here from White. Door's still open here for Carolina. Here's Keeling. Anthony, a little push there by Brandon Childress. That'll be number 3 on Brandon.
That's the last thing you want to do. You stop the clock, you allow him to score from the free throw line, and sink this thing into single digits.
Still hoping for chicken. A Friday at 9 Eastern. We have the next Bald Men on Campus weekly studio show with the follically challenged Jay Billis, Alfonso Ellis, and Seth Greenberg. Very, very entertaining. Great recap of the ACC in a tiny little studio. 66-57. Pressure by the heels. White bottled up, trying to get out of there. Nearly gave it away, but somehow Wake breaks it. .220 left. Childress backs it out, shot clock to 5. Trying to get past Anthony. Boy, that's a tough shot. You talk about a difficult angle. Here's Keeling. He's been so hot, particularly in the second half, but not there.
And that would have been huge. 2-possession game with just around 2 minutes to play if you get that one to go.
Under 2 minutes. And Childress content to be real patient here and get that.